my name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Project 2 for this month's Scrapbook Workshop Kit of the Month. Oh, that is a mouthful. Heirloom Boutique. It is this beautiful new in colour 26 to 28, 2026 to 2028. The new in colours are all focused on this beautiful kit. Now, I did the first project on Monday, and Monday morning I did a run through of all the papers. So if you'd like to see all the papers that are included, please pop back to my Monday morning video, and you will see all the papers there. But we're going to do project 2 now. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get all the embellishments and the photographs. So this time round, I've actually got the photographs, as I did on Monday. They got the instructions, so I shall be following the instructions to the layout, but I won't be following the instructions for where I'm going to position the photographs, because my photographs are slightly different in sizes, should I say. Right, let's move those over. That's a heart. Okay, so I've already got a glue dot in the top left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner of both of these. So let's put those down. Make them easy. And this is another layout that you can quite easily use again and again with any of the designer series paper that you might have. So it's worth keeping the instruction manual for repeats. Okay, so as you can see, there are different colours. So that one is a 2A. Then I've got 2B. 2C, let's have a look, E, and D. Okay, and then that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, oops, hello, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gee, that's an F. F goes there as well. Let's have a look. Should have. Okay, right. I seem to have all of the strips of paper. So what you're going to need is your Stampin' seal just to layer these. So the first thing you're going to do is take your reverse side and you're just going to put a glue strip on the top half, not on the bottom half, and then just line it up like so with the top layer. There we go. And then you're going to bring in D on the next one, which is B. So that is going to go. But what you're going to do is you're actually going to ease it underneath and stick it down. So again, you're just going to put your sticky tape at the top, pop it underneath just a little bit like so. What you'll notice with these strips is that they are not straight. They are thick at one end and thin at the other. And that is part of the design. BC. Let's go for this one. As you'll see, it's part of the design. So it's a case of just, whoops, hello. There we go. Again, we're going under the next one. Put these layers, so that's C, and that's D, so that's the next one. Now it's up to you how far or how deep your your strips are. This is going to be E. Let's get the E. You could just butt them up so they're in front of each other like that, but the instructions have suggested that you might like to put them slightly underneath. Okay, and then the last one here. There we go. And that's going to go under there. And there we go. So go to the 4. Perfect. So there is this side. Now what we're going to do is going to do exactly the same on this side, but we're going to work from the bottom up. So let's have a look at what we've got. Get them in. So we've got H, I, J, K, and L. Okay. And then we're going to stick that at the bottom like so. And again, this time you're going to put the strip of Stampin' Seal along there so that we can slide underneath. So I'm going to put that there. Now you could sit here and go, do you know what, I'm going to make sure that they have the same depth all the way through, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Reason being, I just think the higgledy-piggledy look, as the strips are already a different size, then it's not too bad to not have it working out equally. Go underneath, give it a wriggle. There we go. Then this one, let's make sure that's the side. Yep. Make sure I've got the, I don't want to put the glue in the wrong place, so then I won't be able to slide it under next time round. So make sure that your ends are level with this side and level with this side, so they've got straight even though the slope. So this is the next one. Oh, I put the glue on the wrong end there. That's going to cause me a few issues, but never mind. I'm sure I'll be able to work it out. And then this one, it will just go under there. I didn't put it too high, so that's fine. Okay. And the final one, you can actually put it on the middle and it won't matter. That's that one there. Slide it under and make sure it lines up. So that is literally the layout of the designer series paper from this particular layout. So all you now need to do is add your photographs. So there are a few things I have changed. So let's have a look. So I've got my photographs. So originally the photograph that was meant to be on the left hand side was to be a 5x7, so it gives you this very large matte layer, and then your 5x7 photograph was going to go on there. However, all of my photographs are 6x4, so I'm going to take this one away, and instead of having one tall one here, I'm going to have one side by side. So let's have a look at what we've got. So I'm thinking something like those two around the, looking at the 8.5 mark there. So I've got a bit of gap here. Again, here was 3 photographs, a long one up here, and then a line of 3 down here. I have got 3 photographs, but I am going to have this one probably at the 9 mark. Okay. And then I'm going to have this one looking in at the 9 mark, like so. And then I'm going to pop this one into a flip flap, which is one of these. And basically what you do is you put the photograph in, and if you wanted to, you could put more photographs in there. You fold that over, and once it's in its protective sleeve, you put it over the top like that. So whoever's looking can then just lift it up and see the photograph underneath. Okay, perfect. Right, so I'm going to leave that on the side for the moment. So this is how I'm going to have my photographs, and then we are just going to decorate. So let's actually, I'm going to move it down to the 8.5. There we go, because we're going to get a big word up there and I need it to have some space. So let's bring in our Stampin' Seal. Using Stampin' Seal because these are the best adhesive for these photographs. So I'm going to look look at the 8.5. Make sure I'm roughly there. Keep it straight best I can. There we go. And then I'm going to do exactly the same. So the photographs I did on Monday afternoon that I've scrapbooked were of my daughter meeting my grandson or her nephew for the first time. And this is like carrying on because these are more photographs of the same child. So this will go nicely side by side, even though they are a day apart. So I'm looking at the 8.5, roughly measuring it over. Yeah. There we go. So there are the photographs. So now, these photographs originally were going to be matted onto some Golden Glow. And they were going to go like that and like that. But because I decided I wasn't going to use the background on this one, I decided not to use the background on this one. So they are now extra. I can put in my stash. They're fine. Right, let's bring in all of the beautiful ephemera and pop-outs and embellishments that we can add to. So this one will go along these photographs here, and I'm going to have it just, come on you, just a touch underneath the actual photographs. So what I need to do is make sure that I cut it in the right place. I'm going to get my little pencil and I'm just going to mark it there. So I now know to cut it with my cutter. There we go. And this piece I'll use at a later date. I've also got this, which they've suggested to put under photographs, which would go, so it would have just gone under one photograph like that, but obviously I've changed my photographs around. So the object is to see if I can have it like that. I'm going to pop it there for the moment and see how we do. So we've got this little strip, which can go again under here. Come on. There we go, just move you up. And I'm just going to have it with a gap either side. Okay, so what else have we got? So we've got loads of beautiful flowers. So we've got these beautiful blue flowers, which is perfect for a little boy. This is Barely Blush, I think it's called. And they've got a little heart. Got a big heart to go over here. And so there's two there we can use. What else? We've got some more of these flowers, so we could have one there and one there, like so. Now this is meant to be used almost like a rosette. You've got the here and now, and then you've got these two lovely little like banners. And so what you can do is you can pop it down like so. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And what I will do is I will put one there and one there. And that will keep my banner. There we go, just like that. Keeps the banners in place and makes me my rosette. I've got a blue come on Samantha, blue journaling section, and there's also a cantaloupe section. So I'm going to, if they have suggested one on each page, I'm not sure. I'm going to wait and see where I'm going to put it. So this is the word that is going to come up here, and it just says today. So what you do is you pop these out, pop them out gently. There we go. They are attached, so don't go tearing them apart. You just need them to, oops, come on, get that out, and then this bit here. Okay, let's take those out, and this basically says today. So I am going to, and then we've got the bigger one. So one of these is going to overlay the other. We'll have to work out which one is which. So let's have a look. Does that go? Yep, I think it does. You can overlay it like so. Now, you could poke this one out. Take the O that's already here, like so. You could leave it so it just sits there, or you could then pop the O in the middle like so. Okay, same with the D. Pop the middle out. Take the D. That will go over the top like so, and then you can put that in the middle. Same with the, let's get my pointy tool because I'm going to need that for the A section. So let's point that one out. There we go, look at that. Pull that one out. And then the Y will just go over the top. So I think the best thing to do with these is to quickly glue those down before I go any further. So this obviously can go in the bin. I'm just going to grab a piece of graph paper, because when I glue this down I do not want it going all over my pictures. So there we go, I'm just going to grab that. So the today is going to go here. I'm going to get my glue, and I'm just going to add a bit of glue on the section. We've got these pointy tool. It's got this rubber on the end so that you can pick up your letter easy, she says, and place it over and make sure you're happy with the positioning. So there's the one. So let's do the O. Okay, pick up the O. That can go there, and this time I'm going to put the glue on the back of this bit and then just pop it in the middle. This is hydrangea hue, this beautiful colour here that I'm using. Right, we're going to do the same with the D. There we go. So let's pick up the D, position it well. Move that up just a touch. There we go. And then we can take this bit, pop that in the middle. Of course, you don't have to have these middle pieces if you don't want to. You could just leave them with the, like the T is straight. Okay, so the next one I've got is the A. So let's add the A. Oh, hello. And of course, the other option is you could pull out this section and have the Y showing through on the other side, so it would pop through. But I'm just going to, okay, where is my little piece for the A? A is missing. I will find it. So let's get the Y done. Okay, so there are a few options here that you can go with. a little bit more, too much glue on that one, which is fine. I will come back when the glue is dry and just take it off with a glue rubber. Right, I'm going to turn that over, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on here. So I've got myself my scissors, and I'm just going to chop up the little bits that are around the edge. So I've not got any full ones really, but that's quite good with some of these. There we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece. Did I not? Okay, I didn't cut that bit. And we're going to make sure that it goes over the two sections so they don't come apart. So I'm going to go one there, and then take the next section and have one there. Okay, do the same with the D. Okay, move that along. There we go. Same with the A. Let's do that one, and then we have one on the other side, which is here. And then I'm going to turn that around and do with the Y. There we go. Last but not least, there. Right, so let's take that over. Carefully remove that, because if I find the little, there it is, look at that. I knew it was there somewhere. We want the tiniest of glue on this section. I'm just literally going to dab it on there, and then it can sit in the middle like so. Okay, so that's going to go up there. Okay, that's there. Right, what else have we got? Let's have a look. Oh, I've moved this. All my it's all moved round. So let's have a look. Go on, on do you go? Okay, so that's going to go there. I think we're going to put the flower there, so that will cover that up. I've got some beautiful hearts. Will I put those up there? Probably not. I could. No, I think I actually prefer the cantaloupe, so we're going to stick with that. And I'm going to add my hearts on the paper. What else have I got? Let's have a see. What else have they given me? So we've got a little strip here, which we can write on. And then I've got another little heart, which I might pop down there. This is the hydrangea hue, so I could, I don't know. Keep hold of that for the moment. Then I've got some little white flowers. Let's have a heart up here. So I've got these little white flowers with the hydrangea hue in the middle. So we could do a section of 3 there. Okay. I've got this one. It could go there. This is, could be a tag off of there. I could put, nope, do I only put that green? Let's have a look, let's try that one. No, the green does definitely look better. Okay, so let's see if we can pop these down. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this one, and I'm just going to glue it down with my Stampin' Seal. It'll go over the photograph like so. And then I'm going to take the backings off of this. Actually, I'm going to add one more of the die of the dimensionals just there to give it a bit of balance. There we go, off we go. And then I can pop that there with the here and now. With this, what we're going to do is we're going to put one on dimensional and one flat. Now let's put that one on the dimensional. She says getting it off. I can get it off my finger. Doesn't want to come off my finger. There we go. Come on. There we go. Right. Pointy tool. It's obviously going to be difficult today, so let's do it like that. Perfect. So that's going to come over there like that. Then we're going to stick this one flat. So again, I'm just going to use the, excuse me, Stampin' Seal that is playing up with me today. Ah, not on the photograph. Oh, dear me. There we go. That's going to go there. This one I'm going to put up on dimensionals. So let's bring in some more dimensionals. Let's cut these ones as well. Oops. Okay, so there's quite a few of those. So let's work it out because I don't want to put the dimensionals on the photograph. That way around or that way around? That way around, I think. So we don't want it up there. We want them down here. So sometimes positioning your decoration in a position so that it doesn't go on the photograph like I've done here is better. So before I stick this one down, obviously, we need to put the underlay over. So we're going to stick this one down with the Stampin' Seal. And that's just going to edge its way under here. Like, so I don't want to put too much in because we're going to put this strip underneath as well. Now this is a sticky strip. Let's pull that off. And I'm just going to bump that up on there like so, along the photograph edge. There we go. Now we can put our flowers on. So let's take those off. I like the fact that these kits come with these beautiful decorations. But obviously, like I'm doing, you don't have to put them in the same position as the instructions because they're more of a guideline of what you can do rather than what you must do. So let's pop that there for a second because I'm having second thoughts about that one. So bear with me, and I will see what we can do. Then I'm going to definitely going to pop this one over here like so. Do I want those? No, I'm not going to. I think it's going to be too much. Let's put this one flat. Let's put it that way. Obviously, we can stick this down now, so we'll just take the backings off. She says. There's my pointy tool. Daisy, sticking to my finger. There we go. Right. So let's put the word today here. Make sure it is. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There we are. Let's stick this one flat over the top, like so. I've unstuck it now and I'm not sure about it. Whoa! Ah, I haven't stuck you down. Right, I'm going to put this one back. It's amazing, isn't it, once you stick everything down and you start thinking to yourself, actually, not sure about that, not sure about that. The initial, oh, yes, that's great. And then as you get to move it all around, there we go. Come on. Play the game, my little piece of paper. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? nails trimmed. I'm going to have my nails trimmed today, so they will be much shorter and easier to work with. There we go. Phew. I suppose I could. Okay, that works. Yeah, I think that works. It might just be hanging there, but we'll see. That is going to sit there. So I'm going to just run across the top here. Move you out. There we go. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the bottom of that one. Cut that one again in half, just to be, don't want it to be too many. Just think there where I was putting where I was putting the dimensional. There we go, and that's going to sit there like so. Right, I'm happy with that. So the only other thing to do now is to put that flower there. Okay, let's put them on the bottom again, just to be on the safe side, so we don't get it on the photographs. There we go. Now the only thing that's bothering me is this, which I've stuck down. Now obviously I can't take it off because it's stuck. So what I'm going to do is I have got some dewdrop bling just here. So their colours match. But I'm actually going to use the white, the tiny, tiny clear bling. And I'm going to pop on there. Okay, that one I'm happy with. Which means I now need to add a few. So let's put on there. And maybe one up there. So that balances those out. Then I'm going to do exactly the same over here. But this time I'm going to do one there, one there, and then that one probably there. So we've got the bling as well. So there we go. That is our double page spread for the second of Heirloom Boutique. So I hope you like those. I'm really pleased because obviously I've got my photographs all ready to stick down on that. So that works really, really well for me. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Don't forget, we're back on Friday for our final one. So do join me then. Take care. Bye.